December 10th, 2017 11:46 ms. December 10th, 2017 10:24 ms. Rankings. If you're still alive in fantasy football, congratulations. If you want to stay alive, check out our Week 14 Fantasy RB rankings. This week, out of all the weeks, is one of the most pivotal weeks in the fantasy football season. It's either the first week of playoffs or it's the last week of the regular season. You've likely been battling through your own committee of sorts throughout this entire season, but hopefully yours looks just as bright as the running backs in actual committees with our Week 14 Fantasy RB rankings. The Saints' Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram both sit inside the top 5, which from first glance seems crazy, but they have both finished in the top 6 among fantasy RBs in 3 of the past 4 weeks. So, it's clearly becoming a habit. The Patriots get a great matchup against the Dolphins, where just 2 weeks ago both Dion Lewis and Rex Burkhead scored double-digit fantasy days against them. The Vikings' Latavius Murray and Jerick McKinnon are both solid RB2s, despite a tough Panthers run defense, and even the Eagles' Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount are strong flex plays against a Rams defense allowing the 4th most fantasy points per game FPPG to RBs. Unfortunately, Seattle's committee is still worth little. Week 14 rankings. Quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, DST, kicker injuries continue to cause problems for our rankings, but more importantly fantasy teams, and Adrian Peterson neck, Amir Abdullah neck and Doug Martin concussion were left off the rankings. But it's very possible they jump back in later in the week, which would shuffle around top waiver wire pickups. Kerwin Williams vs. Titans, Tion Green at Bucks, and Peyton Barber vs. Lions, respectively. On top of that, there are still concerns about Leonard Fournette's ankle, as he hobbled off the field midway through last week's game. He did return, but this is a constant worry. Update: Joe Mixon left with a concussion Monday night. It's tough to make it out of the regular season and into playoffs, but if you're reading this, you've gotten out. And if you've come this far, maybe you're willing to come a little bit further. Make it possible with our Week 14 RB rankings. Week 14 DFS Yahoo GPP lineup: Y Cash DK Cash DK GPP FD GPP FD Cash Value Stacks DFS lineup builder reminder. We'll update our rankings throughout the week and add player analysis, so please check back often. And here's how you could lose in fantasy in Week 14. Week 14 Fantasy Football Rankings RBs. These rankings are for standard, non-PPR leagues. 1 Le'Veon Bell, Steelers vs. Ravens. 2 LeSean McCoy, Bills vs. Colts. 3 Melvin Gordon, Chargers vs. Redskins. 4 Alvin Kamara, Saints at Falcons. 5 Mark Ingram, Saints at Falcons. 6 Jordan Howard, Bears at Bengals. 7 Leonard Fournette, Jaguars vs. Seahawks. 8 Todd Gurley, Rams vs. Eagles. 9 Jamal Williams, Packers at Browns. 10 Marshawn Lynch, Raiders at Chiefs. 11 Carlos Hyde, 49ers at Texans. 12 Samaje Perine, Redskins at Chargers. 13 Christian McCaffrey, Panthers vs. Vikings. 14 Dion Lewis, Patriots at Dolphins. 15 Kareem Hunt, Chiefs vs. Raiders. It may be tempting to bench Hunt, but fantasy owners should stick with him. The Raiders rank in the upper half of most points allowed to RBs, and Hunt had over 100 total yards from scrimmage in an earlier matchup this season. 16 Lamar Miller, Texans vs. 49ers. 17 Rex Burkhead, Patriots at Dolphins. 18 Giovanni Bernard, Bengals vs. Bears. 19 Alex Collins, Ravens at Steelers. 4 touchdowns in 3 games and plenty of yardage with it. Collins faces his toughest test against the top 10 ranked Steelers run defense. Collins has a firm grasp as lead back on a team that implements multiple RBs, and the volume should offset any worry of a disappointing game. As long as his headaches don't keep him out, Collins is a solid RB2. 20 Latavius Murray, Vikings at Panthers. The Panthers were one of 4 teams who allowed less than 1,000 rushing yards before they faced the Saints, who rushed for 145 yards and 3 TDs. Murray continues to lead the backfield in carries and yardage, and he should fare just fine in a similar committee-style ground game as the Saints. 21 Devonta Freeman, Falcons vs. Saints. 22 Jerick McKinnon, Vikings at Panthers. On top of the 145 rushing yards, the Saints duo combined for 103 receiving yards out of the backfield. Despite the strong season numbers, there's plenty of points for McKinnon and Murray together this week. 23 Isaiah Crowell, Browns vs. Packers. The Packers have given up 90-plus rushing yards in back-to-back games and are quietly ranked 8th in most fantasy points allowed to RBs. Crowell has put up 90-plus yard days in 2 of his past 4, making him a good RB2 this week. 24 Orleans Darkwa, Giants vs. Cowboys. 25 Kenyon Drake, Dolphins vs. Patriots. Drake dominated in his first start as a featured back, rushing for 120 yards and a touchdown. 2 weeks ago, Drake scored a touchdown against the Patriots, and his volume in both the passing and rushing game makes him a solid start. 26 Ameer Abdullah, Lions at Bucks. Abdullah is sitting out. Tion Green moves up to this spot. 27 Frank Gore, Colts at Bills. The Bills have been one of the worst run defenses since the Saints catastrophe. On top of that, a forecast of possible snow could force the Colts to use a heavy dose of the ground game. 28 Alfred Morris, Cowboys at Giants. 29 LeGarrette Blount, Eagles at Rams. 30 Doug Martin, Bucks vs. Lions. 31 Tevin Coleman, Falcons vs. Saints. 32 Jay Ajayi, Eagles at Rams. It's been a back-and-forth affair between LeGarrette Blount and Ajayi, leading the team in rushes and yards. Against the Rams, both backs can eat, since the Rams allow the second most fantasy points to RBs. 33 Derrick Henry, Titans at Cardinals. 34 Kerwin Williams, Cardinals vs. Titans. If Adrian Peterson neck plays, Williams drops near the bottom of the rankings. If Peterson doesn't play, Williams is a solid flex play with the volume, carrying the ball 16 times last week. 35 Mike Davis, Seahawks at Jaguars. 36 DeMarco Murray, Titans at Cardinals. 37 CJ Anderson, Broncos vs. Jets. 38 Peyton Barber, Bucks vs. Lions. 39 Aaron Jones, Packers at Browns. 40 Matt Forte, Jets at Broncos. 41 Theo Riddick, Lions at Bucks. The Bucks have done pretty well against pass-catching backs, and Tion Green's breakout performance will likely lead to more touches for him. Also, Ameer Abdullah neck could possibly return. Riddick is a doorbust RB this week. 42 Rod Smith, Cowboys at Giants. 43 Bilal Powell, Jets at Broncos. 44 Devontae Booker, Broncos vs. Jets. 45 Duke Johnson Jr., Browns vs. Packers. 46 Matt Breida, 49ers at Texans. 47 Andre Ellington, Texans vs. 49ers. 48 Austin Eckler, Chargers vs. Redskins. 49 Jonathan Stewart, Panthers vs. Vikings. 50 Buck Allen, Ravens at Steelers. 51 Tariq Cohen, Bears at Bengals. 52 James White, Patriots at Dolphins. 53 J.D. McKissick, Seahawks at Jaguars. 54 Tion Green, Lions at Bucks. 55 Danny Woodhead, Ravens at Steelers. 56 Marlon Mack, Colts at Bills. 57 T.J. Yeldon, Jaguars vs. Seahawks. 58 Jalen Richard, Raiders at Chiefs. 59 DeAndre Washington, Raiders at Chiefs. 60 Wayne Gallman, Giants vs. Cowboys.